G'day mate, g'day and welcome to URBNSURF here for the 2004 Shark Island Challenge Expression Session. Blended in with Commonthread film. Huge shout out to everyone involved, and I'd like to bring into the podcast today one of my good friends and co-host, Shaun Cooper.
Hey Lukey, nice to be here mate. First time in front of a camera, so this is fun.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always good to do new things, isn't it?
Well, usually we are kind of behind closed doors talking about comps and different bodyboarding events, but it's great to be here on site and obviously looking over some ridiculously good man-made waves.
Yeah, like if everyone can see, well, in our background, reverse rolo. We've got lots of action here tonight. And we've got, I don't know how many riders you got, Luke, but...
we'd have well over 20, I reckon.
20 of the best in the Shark Island Challenge. And it's pretty fun to watch. You can't stop watching, to be honest.
And definitely a really good mix of Commonthread riders too, you know what I mean? Having Adrian here in the crew, obviously producing this and mixing in with URBNSURF and the Shark Island Challenge with Bodyboard Kingdom presenting. It's been a crazy event to be like kind of placed together and a lot of moving parts, you know what I mean?
For sure. But maybe we should, you should let us know about Commonthread,
right,
because it's something that's happening next year. It's a film coming out from Adrian Edmonton, and maybe you can give a bit of a rundown for what you know.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't want to put too many spoilers out there because I obviously want the cat to stay in the bag, so to speak.
Oh, true.
But definitely, Coops. Like there's a real storyline behind Commonthread, and I know Adrian's worked very tirelessly to try and get this across. I know he's been putting some quality riders together all around the world. Antonio Savraya being one. We've got Lily Pollard here in Australia. Adam Kesbar, Josh Kirkland's got a quality piece in there. And that's only to name a couple that he's been kind of touching on. And I think there's a really solid storyline behind it when it comes to the state of the bodyboard industry, what it is now, where we want to move to, and how we can make those improvements.
So it's basically it's a documentary on bodyboarding.
100%, man.
Have we ever seen that before? Well, the Shark Island
holding on.
I
guess it's definitely
so
a little bit like that, but I think this is going to have a real different backbone to it, and I think it's going to expose a lot of different things in the industry, bring to light a lot of good things in the industry, and maybe some areas where we can improve. And Adrian being so rooted within the industry, he definitely knows what he's talking about.
We need to go into the darkness as well.
We do, mate.
Come on.
Get to the light, you have to travel through the darkness.
There's a lot of darkness.
Isn't there?
But there's a lot of lightness as well. Come on,
for
it's
sure.
bodyboarding. We love it.
And look, please, everyone out there, I don't want to be rude, but we are going to continue to keep looking over our shoulders. Yes, there are some amazing waves coming in. We've got a bit of a lull at the moment, but we've got both the left and the right pumping on expert level here at URBNSURF Sydney. A new wave pool that's just recently opened up in Olympic Park. And Coops, you've been one of the first to sample it, brother. Can we have a little rundown on what this wave provides for a bodyboarder?
Well, I got to spend about 4 hours out there when I don't think the place was actually open. We had to use helmets, and I believe they're not using helmets.
Yeah, I believe so.
So maybe that's scrapped. It's a little bit different to Melbourne. I think the first section of it kind of barrels a little bit more off the takeoff, off the wall, and then that one section can actually have a section to hit as well, which then can kind of really bring a spanner into the works, because you can overthink the wave. You can overthink the first section when you should probably be focusing on the second one, because the second one's a lot better. So the smart guys, they can have a bit of fun on the first one, and then there's a set happening behind us. But you see, the rider just did a roll. He kind of got pitted and then goes into the funneling bit.
Yeah, wow.
And he's flipped out. So you can actually overthink it and screw yourself on the first bit and miss that last section. But
I know what you're talking about.
The riders tonight that we've got out here, I don't think they're going to have any problems with this.
You got world-class riders. I think that was Liam Lucas there, popping a trademark flip of his own on the left. And
he would be riding that wave in his sleep.
For sure. And look at Michael Oslo going the reverse palm stance there. I don't even know what to call that. Going in a right-facing kind of grip on a left-hand wave. Made famous by James Cates, really.
Yeah.
And a lot of before him. But we've got
so
much...
Cold Coast guru, eh?
We've got so much talent here tonight. Obviously, Sean Pine from Cronulla's made the trip over. Anthony Miller, Liam Lucas, Steph Corkialis, Louis Finnegan, Toby Player from Bodyboard Kingdom supporting the whole event. And then you've got, the internationals who are yet to arrive, but some have made our way onto our beautiful sunburnt land here.
Yeah.
Jacob Romero, not to be here tonight, but we've got Jared Houston.
Jared Houston is here tonight, so
yeah.
There's another group on the other side.
There is, yeah.
So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see some guys because we're just looking over our shoulder the whole time.
For sure, it as well, yeah.
Jerry is here, so that's exciting.
Definitely.
For the contest.
We might see a couple of airs from the rights just over the actual concrete pylon there from that man.
He's probably going to be the first guy to actually clear it and then go onto the same wave on this side.
Oh, mate, without a doubt. Some of the things he does over in Puerto Rico at his camps, Coops, pretty next level.
Oh, mate. It's the one of the destinations I've never got to.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to go there.
Me too. It looks like sunny. I mean, I know they get crazy hurricanes there, but sunny beaches, beautiful white sand. You've got a mixture of reefs and beach breaks. Predominantly beach breaks it look like, but, a lot of air bowls. And to go on one of Jared Houston's camps would be pretty legit.
Oh, it'd be an investment.
Yeah.
It'd be so sick.
It would be an investment. Yeah.
Unfortunately from Australia, it's so far away. But, I mean, who cares?
It is what it is, yeah.
Exactly.
So, and we've also got from Commonthread Antonio Sarai here.
All right.
3, 2, 1. We're back, everyone. Sorry about that slight technical difficulty. Here at Urban Surf for the 2024 Shark Island Challenge Expression Session in collaboration with Commonthread Film and Bodyboard Kingdom. Obviously is the main sponsor here for this year's challenge. I'm joined with my good friend and co-host, Shaun Gregory Cooper. Coops, small little technical difficulty. We're back on board, mate.
No, it was nothing, mate. It was absolutely nothing. This was all meant to be. We were keeping the suspense. We're all having fun here.
Just a glitch in the system.
This is what bodyboarders do. We just have fun.
Sure.
So
and it also gave us more time to drink some beers.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Now, what are we doing here tonight, mate? Who's behind us?
Oh, well, right now we've got a couple of 3-foot perfect waves pouring on here.
What's the tide? That's what I want to know.
The tide is hopefully looking pretty high at the moment. Like this next weekend coming for this 15th and 16th, fingers crossed for that weekend to provide waves for run for the Shark Island Challenge.
were, just while we're on that topic, you were thinking about running this weekend on Sunday or Monday, and that storm kind of disappeared, eh?
Yeah, look, unfortunately, we put that orange alert on. We gave from the 10 to the 18th period, knowing that there were 3 consecutive lows, i.e. kind of cut-off lows and southerly progressions pushing up the coast. Unfortunately, around 10 days ago, that swell was looking epic for the long weekend. 7 days ago, it was still there, and then in the last 3 to 4 days, it's really downgraded to a wind swell. And when you look at the charts compared to, say, this morning's session, we had a really fun session out there with Anthony Miller, Jack Baker, Louis Finnegan. Sadler, the Presidente came out. We all got a couple of waves, but unfortunately, those charts at 2.2, 2.3 metre, 8 second south-south-east swell to south-east swell provide us with 3 to 4 foot waves max.
Yeah.
And if we were going to look to run that again on Monday, I think it'd be a disappointment for the world, really, looking for this event to kick off again.
So this morning, 3 footers or 4 footers?
Maybe the odd 4 footer, but generally 3 foot. And it just felt weak. And if you look at those periods compared to Monday, they're quite similar.
Yeah.
So do we want to put the world's best bodyboarders out in those waves? I don't think so.
No. If it's the last resort, I think running the contest is don't you think, you want to run?
For sure.
But what's coming the weekend after? Because it looks pretty good.
It does. At this moment, it does. And I mean, obviously things can change, but we have had a highlight from an alert, so to speak, and Craig Brockinger from Swellnet saying that this next low coming is one of the proper first ones of winter. It's got that real classical alignment coming up through the southern Tasman, and it's got some real bite to it. Could also possibly bring some snow with it too, and usually that's a really good sign to have a fair bit of oomph in it.
Sick.
And it's a long series too of reinvigorations of the same low.
Yeah.
And when you see that, you've got 4 or 5 days of potential run times with the tide getting later and later as a high tide in the afternoon. So we're looking at a 4:30 high tide on Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
On Saturday it'll be around 3:30.
Yep.
And you can do the maths going back from Friday into Thursday and stuff.
So, and then the Monday, the tide will probably fall.
Unfortunately,
push too much. So Sunday's the cut-off for that swell.
Pretty much. Unfortunately, we're coming up to the winter solstice, and because of the darkness and the lack of light, we can't really run past 5 p.m.
Yes.
You could maybe run to 5:15, but it's looking like it's getting pitch black. And then we know coming into Monday, there could be a really nice kink in the swell that goes more southeast, but unfortunately it drops away a little bit, and the tides, if you were looking to run that day, just aren't cooperating at all.
But those tides, that high tide's looking a little bit better than this weekend's high tide as well. It's a little bit higher, more water. Sure. So you can start, you'll be able to start earlier, and then we'll actually be looking at like the final kind of just after the high tide for maybe the first time
100%,
ever.
Yeah, which is pretty rare because usually you're running from a mid-tide into those mid-heat semi-finals on the high, and then you're looking to run that final on the dropping tide. And unfortunately, and some years, not all years, but some years, it coincides with, a lack of rideable waves sometimes, just because you do get that segregation in the wave, and white rock comes into play, and it really kind of makes it a closeout. So
you guys surf it all the time. Let's just say we run on Sunday. The first heat, you've got a limit to the tides as a number. That lots of people, they always just look at it and they go, oh, you got to surf it on the dead high tide. That's the only time you can do it.
Yeah.
But you guys surf it all the time, and you've got a kind of a number where you could start the comp comfortably, because you know it so well.
Definitely, you bang on with that point, and I think also too, people need to look at the degrees of the swell, because this swell's looking like a south-southeast swell, no more than 150 degrees, between 150 and 160 we're hoping for Saturday, Sunday. That's going to allow more grinders to kind of grow from like a 3-foot peak, running down into like a 4 to 6 foot white rock kind of surge end bowl. And when that occurs, you can have a low tide or like a mid tide of around at a 0.7 to 0.8 and start running heaps from there on in, because you know that, yes, the sets may be washing out the back at times, or you might get, say, too much run time down the reef, and you'll miss that crucial part. But the medium inside ones, the 4 to 5 footers, are just going to be proper growers, starting from the peak, hitting white rock and going all the way to surge. And with the lineup we've got with the national riders plus the Australian contingencies, you kind of look around and think to yourself, there's a lot of solid air game in there, and I know
in that swell direction, is that what you see? You see more airs when it's a bit more south-southeast?
I think so, and I think you see more people looking at the bowl in a lot more favourable fashion, thinking that it can turn into an air bowl. Even though if there is dry reef below them, the way the swell is pushing down the island, you get the ones that grind and barrel, but you also get the opportunities to fling an air at the end, a backflip, an air forward, and invert. On Jacob Romero's cases, ridiculous air reversals that no one's ever seen, and you can look to ride out of them. When you look at an east to east southeast swell, or east northeast in 2016 challenge, when we had that ridiculous black northeast swell, you don't get that opportunity. You do see people do massive flips. You see most of them out of closeouts or big rolls, and they look like they're punching through kind of heavier sections that aren't as advantageous to air surfing or air games.
And then looking at the getting to finals, like we look at the first rounds and we've got all the big names in all those big heats, but then we're going to get into the semis and the finals. There's going to be more water, and they're going for $10,000 first prize. We could see some pretty cool stuff, eh?
For sure, man. And I think they're probably going to look at it, all the competitors, and realise that there's going to be some tougher moments in those earlier heats, but if you can be the strategist and if you can want it the most and get through those kind of gnarly low tide bits, you're going to be rewarded with a cherry on the top with like pretty fun pumping island. When we look at those charts, if they stay solid, what we're looking at right now, I'm envisioning 4 to 6 foot, maybe the touch bigger one if we get upgraded, but definitely 4 to 6 foot growers down the reef. And when you have that, it's one of the world's most fearsome waves.
Yeah, for sure.
And it also comes into a high performance wave too, because you've got those air sections. You can link up spins. Like, look at King in 2001 challenge. Yeah. Obviously, he's not in it this year, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. But at this current...
How come he's not in it?
Well, there's a lot of backwards and forwards. But unfortunately, he's away at the moment. He's in Samoa. He might be back for this following weekend. And who knows? Damien King might make a comeback. After all his throwing the toys out of the cot online, he might be back in this comp.
I'm a Kingy fan, so that'd be great. But obviously, there's a lot of... This is the thing that I think a lot of people don't realise. The names that are there on the reserve list, you hear all these names getting thrown around. They're all so high, and they're all bodyboarding a lot. So it's like, how the hell you guys can pick pick who's going to go in, my hat goes off to you, mate, because it's a hard thing to do.
Look, there's a lot of politics in it. You want to try and get an even spread of older and younger riders. You also want to make sure that the companies that have invested in the sport are also getting their bang for buck when it comes to their sponsored riders. And there's a really good pool of bodyboarders out there we can all choose from. And I'm sure in further iterations to come and years to come, we're going to see a whole different bunch of people in the Island Challenge. But for this year, Sam Van, Mark Sabb and myself really did sit down and try and hand select these people.
Sick.
And knowing that they've been putting time in on a bodyboard and they've just been chasing bodyboarding relentlessly. Like, you look at the Thomas brothers, for example.
Yeah.
Cohen Thomas, Sam Thomas. Like, to offer the cap to those Tasmanians, because, like, it's ridiculous what they've been doing. When I was down in the desert recently, they were there for, I think, 6 to 8 weeks by themselves, living on canned tuna and just chasing waves all day long, putting out another mental edit, I'm sure, that's going to come out later this year. You look at Anthony Miller, he's one of the only Groms with a set of plums on him that actually wants to have a go and actually chase it, you know what I mean? There are some great ones out there, and I know, you know, Ryan Hill-Smith and a couple other Groms have gone over and done the world tour and stuff like that. But I really feel like, looking at Anthony from a local perspective, being from Sydney and surfing our waves all the time, he's a prime candidate for that.
Oh, and there's so many more. Now, there is a little bit of news out of the list
there is,
that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people are going to be bummed, but it's kind of the way the cookie crumbles, and it's a long waiting period. And but one of the international riders has gone home.
Yeah, man, it's heavy. And obviously, he's the current world champion. It's Tanner McDaniel from Hawaii. He is he's a real loss. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, I was pretty devastated when he told me. And when he told us, like Mark, Sam and myself, obviously for good reason. Like, Tanner doesn't really want to compete this year, he's told us, and he did come over with the idea of competing in this comp, but after being here for a lengthy period of time on a science trip and being away from his family and his significant other, I think he just pulled the pin and said, it's time for me to go home. So full respect to Hawaiian, love him to pieces. But at the same time, it is a huge loss for the comp, because to see him surf out in those sort of conditions would just be ridiculous.
Did you get to surf with him?
I unfortunately didn't. The day he came up, Sad surfed with him. It was pretty average, only 2 to 3 kind of waves, 2 to 3 foot waves at the time. But yeah, he definitely didn't really kind of get the best of it at the time. But coming to the table, we have fucking none other than Barley Dunn.
Good.
How you doing? How was it out there, brother?
So fun, eh?
Yeah.
Such a trip surfing in fucking fresh water.
Yeah, sick.
Is it cold?
It's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not too bad. You're pretty busy catching waves, so you're pretty warm, but some of the boys are winching out there for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Strachan came in for sure at one stage and was like, mate, my fingers and toes about to fall off, eh?
Nah, it's good. It's good, eh?
But you're pretty used to it down there, huh?
Yeah.
Like down
pretty
south,
much,
like you guys get a fair bit of chilly water from time to time.
A little bit, eh?
And also, your recent trip to Europe, brother.
Yeah. Ireland was fucking cold. Like, in the winter, it gets down to like 8 degrees and shit, so.
How were you putting on wetsuits? Were you just clambering into the van and trying to...
Kinda. We never had, like, when me and Ben were living out of the van, we never had dry wetties.
Nah?
And the van was just fucking cold as fuck.
Hectic. Can you elaborate a bit more on that trip, man? Because I know we've spoken about it before, but like, you did a lot of time over there, man, and surfed some pretty incredible waves. What was it like?
Oh, it was all time best thing I've ever done, eh?
Yeah?
Just like, I don't know, me and Ben were just, it was pretty raw in that van. Like, it was just like, no insulation, like, it's cold as fuck. Like, waking up in the mornings, and I was on like the top bunk, and it was just like metal panel above my head, and it was just frozen solid, like full of icicles and shit.
Yeah. That's gnarly.
Yeah,
and
that's sick.
you'd obviously have to have a pretty relationship with Benny too, like you guys are in close quarters all the
Yeah,
time.
he's pretty easygoing and shit. We don't really like clash too much, so
You're
we're pretty cruisy.
Pretty easy going too, eh?
Yeah. I try not to make any kind of,
Fast.
Yeah,
for sure.
But that was fucking sick, eh?
Sick, bro, sick.
Real good.
Is this the first time you surfed the pool?
Yeah.
Fuck. And
Yeah, so fun.
Like only for the like 20 minutes or half an hour been out there so far. Like, what are you feeling?
I don't know. There's more. You got so much time at the start. Like you kind of feel like it's going to run off on you real quick, but it's slow at the start.
There's a bit of a
and then
gap
it goes
there,
real quick, and but it's fucking real sick. You get so deep in the pit, and it like just pushes you through.
Yeah, sick. And what do you reckon about chlorine pits, brother?
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so weird. Yeah, so weird. Just like surfing in chlorine pits.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like blue as. And,
yeah, under lights. How's that?
So weird. I was half asleep when I rocked up here. I was like, fuck, like, had to get a servo coffee. Like, I was so rattled. I'm in bed by like 8:30 every night. So.
It's definitely past our bedtime. Let's
oh, bro.
You've surfed today.
Yeah, I think it's... like, my experience was I was almost overthinking it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I'd blow one and go, what am I doing, man? It's a wave pool. Yeah. But it's, like you said, it's almost like that gap. You can, if you're thinking too much, you're going to miss the best part of the wave.
Literally. You know? And it's kind of like, it's hard to kind of surf creatively out there because, like, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Everyone's just trying to rip spins at the start, and she's like, well, fuck, what else can you try to do? You know?
Sure, yeah. I actually saw Osler come out through one, and he was doing the old, what's the move called? Because I wasn't calling it correctly. You know, when like James Cates and a lot of the riders do it, where they put the hands on the other side of the board. Like, say if you're going right.
It's like Pat Caldwell style.
Yeah, Pat Caldwell side, exactly. That's what it is, yeah. I'd really like to know the name of that, eh?
I remember there was a like dude down at home that used to boog. He'd go normal going right, and then he'd do that going left. He couldn't like switch his hands.
Bullshit, just like one side.
Yeah.
Yeah, heck
yeah. Classic. Not really.
Well, but it's a valid point you make about how the wave itself, obviously an amazing place to practice, but doesn't give you that sort of kind of natural variation you would get at, say, other waves around your home.
Yeah, because like sometimes when you're surfing the wave kind of tells you what to do.
100%.
You know, where like this one, it's kind of like, it's the same, so you kind of really got to think about it a little bit.
Yeah,
but try not to think too much, I guess.
Oh yeah, sweet. Have going back to the island, brother, like, have you spent much time out there?
Nah, I surfed in the comp there in like 2018, I think it was.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, and that was it. I've never surfed the island apart from that.
Yeah, psycho.
Yeah, stay away from Sydney.
Have you got a wave down home that's similar? Or?
Danger's kind of like it a bit.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty like shallow and wedgy and gnarly.
Yeah. Similar kind of rock too, like a really hard rock.
Yeah, it's got less of a channel, but so it's kind of like the landings when you're trying to do an air out of them or something can be pretty airy, but
and you've got a nice chip in too, eh?
Yeah, sometimes, but like you can get like pretty sick wedges and stuff.
Perfect. That's amazing, mate. I can't wait to see you out there, brother. I'm pumped.
I'm fucking pumped too, eh?
Yeah. Like the forecast when we were speaking about beforehand, like looks really nice for just like 4 to 6 foot at the moment. Give everyone their chance, and obviously air bowls, man.
Fucking
we all know you can smack a couple of airs.
Yeah, hopefully so. Pretty amped.
Yeah, dude.
So fucking excited.
You got a stacked heat.
I know, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So Jerry, Toby. Well, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be an insult to say that was an easy.
Try beat a few lords there, but we'll see what happens.
I reckon you'll get it done.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
Right, thank you so much.
No worries. Marley. Thanks for having us, boys.
All right, Marley.
Fuck yeah.
Good luck, man. Good luck in the comp, eh?
Yeah, giddy up. See you, man. Fuck yeah. Good you just popped in, eh? Nice one to give us the time.
Yeah, we haven't actually talked about the pool yet. We've been sitting here watching it for a long time.
It's almost quite hard to like continually look at the cameras or the microphones and keep trying to keep one eye on the pool.
I'm pretty sure I noticed on this side, I've seen a lot of Shaun Pine on the left.
Oh yeah.
Toby Player, I'm pretty sure is on the left. There's a lot of moves. Oh, there was an ARS on the outside section on that one, which is 2 on one wave.
Josh Cleave.
I've never seen that.
Josh Cleave.
Just did 2 ARSs on one wave.
Dude, you know what I've noticed? Pino's actually riding a bat tail out there on the left. Looking for a bit more speed, a bit more drive out of the bowl.
A little bit loosey-goosey as well.
Yeah, lovely to see.
You love your little bat tails, don't you?
I know, I'm kind of obsessed with them. I just recently got a new one off Michael, one of the co-sponsors for the Island Challenge, Handpicked Bodyboards. Man, it goes like a rocket. And he's got this new thing going on where it's a bat tail, but he's got almost crescent clip like nodules off the bat tail.
Sick.
So I noticed today surfing the island hadn't been plugged for often just 3 foot island, maybe the odd bigger one, and the way it came off the bottom, you would go down to a forward spin, and you know the bat tail, sometimes when you're going to re-engage with the wave and get back on your rail, you're a bit loosey-goosey and you might lose the back end again because you're going too fast in the spin. Mate, back on the straight and narrow, those little crescent clip things on the bat tail, I don't know what they're called, I'm sure Michael could elaborate on it, lock you back in, and it's golden, brother.
No way.
It's golden.
So if you're going to get a board at Handpicked, do you go and just get in there and just design it yourself?
Well, yeah, with the help of Michael, and he gives us like a good little rundown. And Rossi.
He'll have a proper meeting with you and
100%. And give us a whole rundown.
See.
It's pretty nice. I think we're going to have Liam Lucas on the mic for a second.
Oh,
here.
no way. He
The
just
man
came
himself.
in from a quick session out at K-Bay on the left-handers here.
Liam,
Yeah, the
thanks for
boys.
joining us,
There you go, brother.
Mate, can we, first off the bat, like, you know, your bodyboarding's amazing. We don't want to talk about the shoulder injury, and you've obviously got the Island Challenge ahead of you, but can we just touch on the moustache and when that came to fruition?
Oh, that was a couple of years ago now. When I go through phases, you know.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit too blonde, goes white, and it's like, all right, it needs to go. Yeah. Needs to match the other part, you know.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a little bit of like milk or like any sort of stuff caught up in the top there, a bit of a frothy ale?
Maybe some eggs in the morning.
Yeah. A couple of egg whites.
Yeah.
Were you on the left then?
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah, sick.
I'm like desperate to go on the right as well.
Oh, yeah?
Without a crack.
Yeah, sick.
But I'm loving it. It's
Yeah,
sick
sick.
out there. It's really different to Melbourne. Like,
Yeah?
I've just found like through the meaty part, it's got way more behind it, whereas Melbourne felt like more of like a running rip bowl. Whereas this just feels like when you're taking off, it's like, all right, just need to wait for this last minute bit where it
Sick.
goes real meaty and it doesn't even want you in it. It feels like it's gonna like bog you off rail, but
Wow.
definitely started to get the hang of it, seeing as I haven't surfed in ages. So
Yeah.
it was, oh man, I'm just like fully adrenaline rush right now. Yeah.
Sick,
I'm
eh?
pumped.
Great to see.
What you had, man.
Yeah. Dude, the urban surf experience is live and well.
Mate, I haven't surfed it in 3 years, so I was just stoked that
Sweet.
you guys put this on. Like,
Oh, thanks, bro.
easily like the best thing that's happened to Australian bodyboarding in so many years.
Yeah, dude, I honestly,
stoked.
when everyone turned up tonight and with the help of Adrian and Commonthread Film, Coop's turning up, Toby with all his gear, and Urban Surfing agreeing to this. Bro, it's been a really cool event so far.
Mate, it's unreal. It's not over, boys. It's still going. The action's live.
Fully G.
Yeah.
Dude, tell us about your shoulder, man. How's it going? And it's been a long road to recovery.
Yeah, so it's maybe like it's 60% right now. So just training like every week, every day, taking it week by week. Just putting in lots of hard effort. Like I haven't been drinking at all. Like I haven't had a beer since November. So I've just been full training mode. Like
Full credit to you.
straight ahead. Like, because I realized after that injury, it's like, you know, if I do it again, that's like I'm out for ages.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just like train all the way. Like it's inspiring to have like people to surf with like Louis, whereas he's just like training all the time. So, you know, it's cool to like look up to some older bodyboarders and be able to like share the pool with them too and just go ham. It's sick.
I know, and it must be like it's upping the level up there too, because you see one person do another thing, you want to try that, or like, you know, you kind of think, oh, that's a different way of approaching it.
For sure. Yeah, I felt like a little bit rusty out there the first few waves, but starting to get the hang of it now. Like shoulders feeling a bit lucid. So
You literally haven't surfed?
I
Like
surfed last week,
Yeah.
and that was like my first surf back. So
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I heard there's been waves.
Yeah. Mackenzie's been off its head,
Has it?
and I've just been watching it
You've
for
been watching
months. For months, and I'm just staring, going for beach walks, like wasn't able to work or do anything.
No.
Just staring at all these pumping waves, seeing like Georgia Hanna and the boys holding it down in the corner.
Sick.
But it just got washed away, so I'm glad
really?
that I rinsed it when I could, like the
man.
last week, and then had like a little bit of a tingle on my tendons and my shoulder from surfing too much straight away, but like I'm glad I did because it's gone now. So
Sure.
time to post all the photos and videos and blow it up.
It's gone again.
Because once it's gone, it's gone
It's
for a
gone,
long
mate.
time,
It is
mate.
deep out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even remotely breaking.
Crazy. Was that from that last
Yeah,
south
from that
swell,
last
or?
south swell,
Yeah.
it's like
Right.
fully cooked it.
Yeah, for sure. It was pretty big though, so.
Yeah, it's mental.
And the therapy you've been doing, you know, to keep going out to K-Bay and getting these ridiculous lefts, what have you been doing to keep yourself fresh?
It's just been like working a lot with my physio, like a lot of band work, like push-ups, just even crawling, like a ridiculous amount of crawling,
Really?
like crawling in
Like on all
in
fours?
squares, yeah.
Wow.
Butt low to the ground and just crawling on all fours, just trying to get this bad boy up and running again.
Fucking hell.
I mean,
like a
the
bit of
pool,
dominatrix style.
the pool's kind of just G'd me up. Like I feel like I'm back. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I was actually surfing all right towards the end there.
Hectic. That's legit.
Yeah, sorry you get a couple, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
I actually
ripping.
got something on film. I'm pretty sure I turned around. We were unfortunately on off air for a little bit with the technical difficulty. And dude, I was filming it, and I think it was either yourself or Miller, because I think Miller's definitely crafted his backflip techniques off himself.
Yeah.
And launch time, baby. It
Yeah.
was sick.
How long do we have left?
Mate, get back out there.
Yeah, bro, you got 8 minutes. Go back out.
Get back out there.
Yeah, get
Get out there.
yourself. How much props he got?
Oh,
amazing.
Don't give me too long.
Come on.
Get out there. At least 3 waves.
Oh my God.
At least. And let's swap someone else back in. Josh and Kirkman.
Oh, there you go.
I'm really good, guys.
How are you, Josh? Thanks for coming on, mate.
No worries.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, mate. You don't go anywhere without your red beanie.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's definitely iconic when it comes to
Well, I
Josh.
think I saw you at the front of Parliament the other day and you had it on in
I
your
was.
suit.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Insane.
I read this really good book recently. It's called The 48 Rules of Power.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up. Like, there's a lot of really gnarly shit in there about like power and how people use it. And one of the things that was in there was like rule number 4, and it was like always be memorable.
Right.
And I read through the whole chapter. It goes into like history and a lot of French history. It's a lot of like kings getting beheaded and all that kind of shit. And then it said like you could just wear something that people will always remember you by.
Yeah.
And I remember with this beanie, I was going into Parliament the first time this time last year, and I had these people who give me advice on what to do when I'm in that place, and it was my first go. And like, oh, you got to take off the beanie. I'm like, no, the beanie stays. Like, this is it. Like, this is the moment where it stays. And I stood my ground, and ever since I just wear it everywhere. So there's politicians who go like, you're the guy in the red beanie. Like, what are you doing in here? Because they just see me going around the halls all the time. I was like, because I just want to look like another white guy in a suit.
It looks a lot better than
heaps of those.
being suited up the whole time, for sure. Yeah, and you sure you make a fair few statements there. So you're the CEO for
Surfers for Climate. Yeah.
Cool. Can you tell us a bit about that?
It's a non-profit. It kind of does a lot of education work on climate action for surfing communities. At the same time, it does advocacy towards kind of better policy for the environment. So a lot of it's to do about like accepting the first principle that climate change is a thing that we should do something about. We do have a lot of back and forth in the community about people who still kind of fully aren't on board with the science. I totally understand that because it's been heavily politicised. But if you take that as your first principle, then what are you going to do about it? Like, what are the things we need to kind of fix or work on and adjust? And for me, it's never really been about saying no to shit all the time. It's actually more about what can we say yes to that might not be perfect, but which can kind of do things a little bit differently. So I think that has a lot to do with my background coming from a clean tech investment fund when I was living in the Nordics. So that was all about solutions. It wasn't about like stopping stuff. It was about like investing in change and kind of like cool shit like food waste and just fixing obvious problems, which is really exciting for me. Yeah.
So for all the listeners out there, Josh, it's a really valid point. I was just wondering, what were the 3 points of advice you would give just an average Joe at home or a really keen bodyboarder or surfer just on how they can improve the planet?
I reckon it's like, there's all the little shit that you can do. Like everyone does a keep cup and they think they're changing the world, and that's cool. And it's a good thing to do. I just think it's all about engaging in the imperfect system that we have and actually talking about the things that you care about. So I think for a lot of bodyboarders and surfers, we all equally love the ocean and we enjoy it. Like it's heavily kind of part of our identity when we go anywhere. We're a bodyboarder first, right? And like, that's to do with the ocean. Like, we're in it all the time. I think it's just about learn about that. Like, don't just skim across the surface and have a shallow understanding of what it is and what it's doing and what it means, because the reality is the ocean, you know, every second breath comes from the ocean, right? That's what it actually creates. It creates the air we breathe. Oxygen, and so it's like a super important part of our ecosystem and our lives. And getting involved in politics, as annoying and disappointing as it can be, I think you've got to engage in the system we've got, because that's the only way to really change it. Unless you want to go and build a bunker out in the hinterland and just kind of do your thing, which is totally a thing to do. And if you want to do that, fucking go for it. But for me, I reckon just get involved in the system, get to know how it works and where the levers of change sit, and pick the one you want to pull. Like, don't try and solve every problem all at once, because like, fuck man, that's the way to go insane and be really depressed.
For sure.
Yeah, like,
cool.
don't take the world on your shoulders.
Don't you reckon, like, I swear, like, people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, it's really hard for some people to learn something new and be told that what you knew isn't right. It's hard to let that in sometimes and go, oh, maybe I can do something different. Like, but sometimes it's really good to, I do it in business all the time. When someone says, why don't you do it this way? And you're like, no, we don't do it this way. And then you're like, all right, well, let's do it. And then it works. And you're like, oh, like,
try shit.
But why don't we just try? Like, don't like let your ego sit aside sometimes, because I imagine that's what you're dealing with all the time.
I think I'm dealing with that, but what I'm also dealing with, which is super interesting and probably more obvious, like more, I think, interesting to the audience that might be listening, is that I'm a bodyboarder running a surfing organisation. And that's fucking wild, right? Like, I have a chip on my shoulder still about how bodyboarders were treated by surfers, right?
Yeah.
We all grew up through that shit, right? Some had it worse than others, but there's a cultural problem in surfing itself that I think is the thing that I'm most interested to work on, because when it comes to building a movement and trying to get people on board the thing you want them to kind of act on or do, you've got to find interventions in culture that can actually unlock it and make it useful. So surfing as it stands right now is not very useful. Most people are incredibly selfish, entitled, and the depiction of surfing is a white guy riding a shortboard with 3 fins. Now, it's changing a little bit, but I think the opportunity sits in actually really breaking that shit apart and actually going like, the granny riding a boogie board down in Victoria, straight to shore in the foam, is a surfer. The ocean swimmer who's going to body surf in at the end of that swim is a surfer. The women, the non-binary folk, all of these other identities, they're all surfers, but they don't really get seen. And so for me, that's the fun bit about this job, is that I'm actually I feel like a wolf in sheep's clothing sometimes in the surfing world, because, we know what it's like. Yeah, for sure. It needs a shake-up, and I'm really keen to shake it, and that's, exciting.
And how's it going?
It's going really well. So, like most things in charity land, and it's like a small business thing as well, right? Like, the financial cliff is a very real motivator for work, and so with most charities, you want to have 4 months in the bank. Yeah. Most small businesses are probably operating on that. I'm looking at you, just like, what the fuck, the cliff's like, how far?
4 months.
And that's a pretty good cliff. So if you can push the cliff out, further, you've got the actual space to think big and actually do things and invest in things. So where we're sitting at today, I've been in the role for nearly 3 years. I have really focused on it. I think that's the main game in life, is if you just focus on something, you can get really good at it. I think we see that in bodyboarding. Whoever's focused the most is probably going to win the Shark Island Challenge, because they're focused on trying to win that. And I think that's a real secret to success. But we've got really good supporters. We've got this win in New South Wales, getting this ban on offshore oil and gas in the New South Wales coastal waters, which is first of its kind for the country. So that was really cool to get that done. And we've actually got funding in the bank so that we can actually focus on tradies who surf. That's the new thing I'm focusing on in the next year with the work. And if you think about that group of people, like, there's so many tradies out there in coastal areas who are literally the hands that will change the world, and the environmental movement, which I'm a part of, but not really. All of us can think about the big things we want to get done, but it's actually tradies that are going to do it, and they've got the skills. Like, you're a tradie, right? Like, you've been using your fucking hands for years to make shit. And if we want to change the world, we need people who know how to use their fucking hands. And that's the truth. But that's the group that's most disengaged from the environmental issues that we face, I think.
So what is it you actually want them to do, if that's that?
I think, I think there's a massive economic opportunity for tradies in how do we, and it's actually from down your way in the Wollongong kind of area, like, there's a whole thing about electrifying the home, like, and the savings that come from that. So tradies just learn about electrification of the home, learn about efficiency in the home, learn about how to use less, because we won't have to invest in as many wind farms here or solar farms there if we actually just use less of the shit. And that's all that climate change is really about. Just don't burn as many fossil fuels. If we do that, we're good. And I think for those who, there's always that bit about, like, don't tell us what to do, I don't want to be told to change and all that kind of shit. I would argue, like, are you totally comfortable just putting your money into fossil fuels every day? Which, imagine a visualization of the money that leaves every community in Australia and ends up in the Middle East. All that money just ends up there. It goes through a petrol station, it goes somewhere else. Now, if you actually invest in your home and you do the efficiency and you do the solar and the batteries and the EV, whatever the hell you want to do, just make it efficient and clean, that money actually stays in your community. And I think that's the huge opportunity, because communities can grow off this change, and that's what excites me. I'm from Foster. Fuck. That's a small community. That value stays there. It's a better place. Like, so yeah, it's not really like Captain Planet or anything. It's actually just Captain Tunkari.
It's basic stuff. That's epic. Speaking about Commonthread before we let you go.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for explaining.
No worries.
So what's your role with Adrian at the moment, and what are you guys trying to achieve?
You know what? I just fucking love the guy, and I've got so much respect for him in, like, talk about taking a punt on your idea and just going for it. And I think, like, what bodyboarding needs, I think the crew at Shark Island are doing exactly the same thing. All you guys taking a punt on an idea, just backing himself. Like, look what he's invested into this. Like, it's such an undertaking, and credit to him. He wants to pull the stories out of people. He thinks there's a story of me to pull out, so I'll share it. Haven't stopped talking on this thing, but I think he's doing a great job. And speaking of other great people with great stories, I think Lily Pollard.
Lily's about to freeze to death.
So I'm going to get out of the way, Lil.
No worries,
I've
been doing this a while.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
No worries. Lily, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Pleasure.
How'd you go?
So fun. Yeah, fun.
Yeah?
Glad I went back out.
Yeah. Were you on the right or the left?
I started on the right and then hit the left at the end and then busted my shoulder on my last one.
Really?
Did you?
No, not too much.
Oh, mate, you're going to be right for the challenge,
Oh,
aren't
no, I'm done now. Just an urban surf girl.
we have too many people dropping like flies, mate. We had Noah Dean on that recent swell down.
Oh, what did he do
South
to his heel?
together. I think he copped a flogging on the wave and just split it open.
Yeah,
so
saw that.
hopefully he's still in the comp. But yeah, we can't have you go out with
Nah,
the
I'm
shoulder.
alright, it'll be fine.
Mate, just rest it up, a bit of ice baths in how it is.
Yeah.
So, what's been happening, Lily? How's bodyboarding been treating you?
Yeah, good. Getting in heaps on the weekends. I'm living down Werry Beach now, down Gerringong. So surfing out the front of my place has been fun. Surfed the pot of dolphins yesterday. It was like unbelievable. I did a sneaky lunch break surf at work.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, had the beach to myself. Got a couple barrels, and then next thing, like a full pot of dolphins came through, and I was just like doing party waves with them, and I was like I would have looked like a crazy person on the beach. So I was just going, woo, like going crazy, and getting barrels and doing the spray, and then they're jumping up, like looking at me. It's like just felt full connected.
That's
It was
so
insane.
nice.
Yeah.
It's actually amazing how often, I mean, not often, but how many times if you're in the ocean as much as yourself, that actually occurs, and people around the world will pay serious money for that.
Yeah. Oh my God, it blows my mind every time. I
Yeah,
love it.
it's
insane.
it's
Best.
crazy. And so, is this the first time you surfed the pool?
This pool, Sydney, yeah. Been down Melbourne a few times, but
Lovely.
it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of surreal to actually sit there and be like, oh, what am I going to do next? Like, you can't do that at the surf.
Exactly what Marley said.
Yeah,
hey?
it's insane.
It's kind of got almost that time, and Coop's made the same comment.
Yeah.
He was actually one of the first ones to get a
Yeah.
try out of this pool.
Do you reckon the right was better or the left? Like,
I don't know.
There's
I
a little
don't
bit
know.
of difference, hey?
I think because of my strengths and weaknesses, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, felt good because I feel better with ARSs on left. So I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
On the
That
left,
bowl looks
but then
amazing for
the bowl-
ARSs.
Yeah.
It's
That's
real
heaps
heavy
fun.
too.
Yeah.
Did you hit the bottom at any stage?
Yeah, not too hard though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's good,
It spins you out a bit. Yeah.
It does,
yeah.
Full
But
concrete
yeah, I've smashed
slab.
my knee down in Melbourne before.
Yeah, have you?
So,
Hectic.
That's
So,
right.
you know, you're not, you are definitely not one to shy away from heavy waves, Lily.
Yeah, no,
And
usually.
in our write-up here for the Shark Island Challenge, when we first announced you as one of the athletes, you clearly have a crazy resume when it comes to solid pits. Like, what does it mean to be in the Shark Island Challenge this year, and has it been one of your dreams for a while?
Yeah, it's I'm just so incredibly overwhelmed with stoke and humbleness, just to be invited to this event. It's crazy for me. I don't know, lived in Cronulla for a while.
You did.
Admittedly, I surfed Island a fair bit, but I loved going to another wave out in the bay that was another right-hand slab that
Yep.
had less of a crowd for me on it. Like that, but love my right-hand barrels. But yeah, I'm just amped. I'm just blown away by it. So yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, thanks to you.
We're so stoked to have you, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, moving forward, women's bodyboarding, have you got any other names in mind that you would see coming up through the ranks that would be great to fill some more spots? In
Oh,
years to come?
heaps. Definitely Sophie's the one that comes to mind, Sophie Leathers. She's been going real hard.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of young, one of the, Mark Fordham's daughter, Asha.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to see her. She was getting in, she's a sick barrel rider, just like her dad, if you see her. I was coaching her for a while. She's got the sick 40 style.
Sick, lovely.
Yeah.
Locked in and ready to go.
Yeah, fully, Got her
Yeah.
out Island a couple of times. Just thinking who's in the area. But the international girls too, have been saying to have them over.
Yeah, who would you recommend from there? We'd love to reach out in years to come.
Yeah, sick. Far out. Up and coming would be Neymara's daughter, Luna Hardman.
Oh, yep.
she
She's
just
only
won
recently won.
Just won junior world title.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
insane.
Yeah. And she's competing on the professional leagues this year, isn't she? Professional.
Yep, world tour. She's doing that. Even, I don't know, over the years, bring back Layla Ali. She's the best barrel rider ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'd probably still go hard too. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, last time I was in Hawaii with her, I was staying with her, and I went out 10 foot apart first day with her, and she's just casual, yeah, cool, let's go, Lil. And I'm like, shit.
No way.
She's still, going hard.
Was that the last time you were there and you won the pipe comp?
Yeah. Lucky, yeah.
Amazing, eh? And that was put on by Josh Kirkland?
Yeah, it was insane. Man, we got good waves. Yeah, we got lucky.
Sick.
I saw the forecast for that. We weren't going to go. But yeah, pipe, back door.
Was that in February?
I think so. I got it worse. Oh, yeah, end of February.
End of Feb, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So almost late season.
Yeah, it was like, no, it might have even been 2nd of March because the next day was my birthday and I went kayaking with the whales over at Maui.
Did
ya?
So,
yeah, it was
no
insane.
way. What a session. That's sick.
Yeah, it was a good trip.
How nice is that? To win pipe and then go kayaking with whales?
Yeah, all day. I went all day.
Hawaii's got everything, eh?
Yeah, it's insane.
That's psycho.
Yeah.
And who are you sponsored by at the moment?
Well, Podwear is helping me with this event.
Yeah.
Best leashes on the market. Super strong.
Hats off to Shane, eh?
Yeah, he's a legend. Yeah,
he's a very nice fella.
Yeah, he's a great supporter of bodyboarding.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Yeah,
Good dude. Hardy Shapes got the Lily Goo.
Yeah, beautiful. Lily Pollard. Lily, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
That's all good. Looking at the session, looking at the froth out there, I could tell, like, from the hoots and the hollers that it was just going next level out there. It was there, and you've surfed Melbourne before, and I've asked a couple of the guests, this question, but I always want to ask everyone this because I think it's really important with wave technology moving forward. What's the key differences here with this pool compared to Melbourne?
I only noticed really the timing with the wave. It's interesting because each time I've been back to Melbourne, I normally just jump in on some advanced sessions, so it's usually slightly different settings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite liked how it's just 6 wave sets, but less of a wait between the sets. And I don't know, I didn't notice a lot of difference.
Yeah, heck.
Both have that insane, you got time to do something fun at the start, set up for the barrel and it wraps in pretty hard, and then you get a launch or you just get stoked and
that's so
on.
good. That's epic. And what about the facilities? I know they've done some huge upgrades. Melbourne's a kind of a bit more basic. There's still some beautiful eateries and facilities there, but I've noticed they've got a physio. I know they've got... Oh, how's these warm up? They've got Rip Curl Store. We've got Adam Kesbar giving me a little back massage. We're just talking about the facilities, brother. Have you noticed?
So good.
Yeah, it's psycho, eh?
Unreal.
Yeah.
With lovely gardens happening.
Yeah, exactly. Well manicured.
Yeah, love it.
Legit.
Yeah, beautiful.
I found out they had a hot tub.
Yeah, the one at the front, eh?
I got changed.
Oh, you're in?
I got changed before I knew about
going
it.
in.
So I'm just freezing.
Hectic. Wait, Lil, you give me so much of your time, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for an amazing event.
No dramas. Speak to you. Kezi, brah. Thanks for coming on, bro. Appreciate it, eh? Legend. Where have you been in Australia recently, brother?
A month ago, went to South Oz from Port.
Yeah.
Port Mac, straight there. Spent 2.5 weeks there, got some good waves, nothing amazing, and then I took off to Vico.
Hectic, yeah.
Got some waves in Vic, chilled out with Ty Glander.
No way.
Which was cool.
Cyclone?
Yeah.
No way. How's it going?
Great.
Yeah?
Unreal.
Cyclone, hurricane, you call him many things. He's an absolute legend.
Yeah, killing it on the cam.
Yeah.
Used to kill it on the boog, moved to the camera. Yeah.
He's one of the coolest boogs going around, man.
Yeah.
Now, hats off to Ty because every time I've spoken to him, the passion in his eyes that ignites when he talks about bodyboarding, slabs, and a couple of slabs that you really like.
Yeah.
It's just incredible to see.
Yeah.
He's one of the icons of the sport.
He's huge. Yeah, he's huge. He's got a sick energy.
Yeah.
To be a film, because if you're a filmer, it's you're just there to see what's going on, and he is what's going on. Bro. He's such we had this one session, and you usually I remember this wave that someone got, and you talk about what happened in the water with the surfers, but I've flat out straight after a session just been did you see Tiger out there shooting? What a madman.
Really?
Yeah, because we a 15-foot washoe dives down.
Just diving under.
Keeps his eyes open while he's underwater to know where he is in the right spot.
So he doesn't hit any of those penetrations to the white water?
Well, so he can come back up in the same spot.
Oh, and just
be ready
to get
shoot,
the zone, really?
Most dedicated filmer I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. I think he's GOAT filmer, proper.
That's going the extra mile, eh? Yeah.
And then him at the pub, he reckons he's had sessions where he dives down, keeps his eyes open, and he'll shoot like that for 2.5 hours, and he'll come back in, can't open his eyes that night because it's he just looks like he's.
And it's not the chungs either.
He looks like he's ripped a million.
Yeah, it's just salt water.
Yeah.
It's legitimate salt water. Wait, so bro, let's talk about the Shark Island Challenge. You love big waves. You've really made a name for yourself over the last couple of years of just going solo ham on big waves. What are you wanting out of the Shark Island Challenge?
Oh, I want to just I guess my whole thing, I was I just want to go out there, be able to charge and have fun, because that's I've mostly have a better time in the water when it's like a bit intense.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be sort of intense and hard to surf, because then I'll be able to just have a good time. And that I think having a good time in the water and like doing your own thing and being in your zone is what gives you the scores. So I wasn't necessarily thinking about how to compete well. I was like, because it's not a shark line competition, it's the challenge. It's like different than a normal comp, you know?
Definitely. It's a full specialty event.
Yeah, and it's just like, I figured if I go out there, the waves it's east, they're heavy, they're scary. Like, I'll come in my own and surf the best I can.
Definitely. But what if we're going on this this current forecast the coming week, and it's looking more like a 4 to 6 foot day?
Yeah, south in it as
yeah,
well.
you know what I mean? You probably got to get a bit strategic there. Maybe the air game comes into play.
Yeah, that's what I was definitely thinking about. Personally, I've been out there a few times. I've been out there a couple of times and had that slingshot into the oncoming sort of
love a slingshot.
lines.
Yep.
And you're like, wow, this is a lot of speed. This is a whole lot of speed. And then you're like about to bottom turn to go hit it, and you're like, oh, there's dry reef there. But I guess on comp day, that won't really matter.
You just have the blinkers on, eh?
Yeah, fully.
Like a 2-to-1 favourite at Randwick. Throw the blinkers on.
You love it.
Load up on that thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, bro.
Yeah.
Because like, it kind of will go almost white light over your eyes, hey? It'll be like, let's just get in the zone and let's do it for 40 minutes. Because if you get through that first heat and make it to the semis and progress to the final, you're going to get through into that high tide, and I dare say conditions are going to get better and better, man.
Yeah, that's cool. That's what everyone wants to say.
I know.
Yeah, but I'm keen, man. It's one of those things, like, I surfed with Steph the other day down the coast, like, because I made my way up.
The Portuguese prince.
Coast. Yeah, and he's a lad, and he hits it, and there's a few ramps where I was like, I don't know if I can be bothered having a sore shoulder, back, leg, whatever it is.
Talk to Liam Lucas.
Exactly. But when you've got those caliber of surfers in the water with you, you're going to hit it because they would. So hopefully, what you're saying, when it's a bit smaller and it's a bit sketchy, I'll do it anyway, sort of thing, you know? Like, hopefully it just brings out the best.
And I think you will, man. I've seen you at a lot of different waves. You're obviously a big wave guy, and you definitely enjoy that side of bodyboarding, but I know you've got the tech thing down pat, and I know you've got a real appreciation for that too.
Yeah.
Living in Port Mac now, taking care of... It's your grandparents, isn't it? Yeah, like you'd be surfing breakball a lot. Has that honed your style a little bit differently and given you an appreciation for that sort of tech?
Yeah. You definitely feel like I wouldn't say that you strive for it as much as you're sort of embarrassed if you're not good on the tech side.
Yeah.
It's like if you got like the dudes you grew up idolising, paddling back out as you're getting a wave, you're like, all right, I'm going to have to pull my legs in pretty hard on this one and make sure everything's real. You know, like you don't
pick it apart there, eh?
Yeah. I like it. Just pressure on yourself from and who's viewing. So you want to do the best, which is I think what this comp's going to be like. So many heavy hitters and like also hungry sort of younger dudes.
I know.
Yeah, pretty keen for it.
Dude, when you look around the room, you've obviously got a real mix of big wave Daves in the most respectful way possible and real tech lords, and the way they're going to bring it all together, it's going to be fascinating to see how it all goes down, eh?
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I've been thinking about it a little bit, definitely. Yeah, I reckon Marley's going to kill it.
Yeah, I've got to admit.
Did you chat to Marley earlier?
We were lucky to get 5 minutes with Marley. He's nice enough to give up his time, and I agree, the pocket rocket style of obviously he's gone to Europe, he's put in the time and some slabs and some meat on the bone over there.
Fully.
And then he's got that whole spin in the pit, backflip air forward, air reverse, invert game down pat.
Yeah.
And to do it at some of his waves around home, which I know you've surfed and I've had a little bit of a tickle at too, they're not waves that you would really think are going to be straight air bowls. They're a lot of like kind of long, fast running kind of rock ledge kind of wally waves that, obviously do provide bowls at times, but they're not just your standard like Stratty, D-bar or Nuggin, so to speak. There's so many different waves there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got, those waves that aren't air sections, they sort of are air sections to him, mate. He doesn't really care.
I know.
He's gonna be skits out there. I'm super keen. Like more than like obviously I love like getting my own waves and stuff, but I'm super keen to just like be a part of my heat. If I don't make it, I'm very happy to sit in the channel, scream at everyone, go nuts,
and just be a part of it, eh?
Oh, fully. It's gonna be wild. It's
That's
gonna
what
be
I'm keen
wild.
to be on, man. Like just the
Jared
energy.
Houston as well. He'll be hitting them.
Yes, man. I totally agree. Looking over him, he's even got a fresh cut for this too.
I know. I didn't even reckon. I thought he was. I thought he was like some like kid from Maroubra or something showed up. Some Lexo rat showed up.
I saw him just before he came over. He put up a selfie with his barber, and I'm just like, bro, you've gone hot there.
He put up a selfie with the barber that cut him that.
He was frothing. He was just like, man, like, main man, whoever his name was.
Main man, lawsuit coming his way, dude. That's
He's like
wild,
a criminal,
bro.
man. It's that good.
Eh?
Wait, so let's just quickly cap off with Commonthread. You've been working heavily with Adrian, and that's been amazing.
Yeah.
What's the formula there, and what are you guys trying to achieve?
I think we just want to sort of obviously get the most psycho sessions we can.
Yep.
Potentially at a few different places around the world if we can manage, if we can manage it, if the money is sort of there for both of us to do it. But that being said, like, you can get some of the craziest waves of your life just down the road from your house, depending on where you live.
100%.
In Sydney, North Coast, South Coast, wherever.
Yep.
Yeah, we're just trying to we're trying to show off what it is now. And like, I don't know, for the past month, I've been living out of my Subaru and like eating fish every night because like I don't have money to buy like proper food.
Sure, fish that you've caught.
Yeah, just go for a dive and get some food and that.
Sick.
It's like, that's what's been going on. I think that's what he wants to capture, just like the fact that although like through the years you've gone from like high flying sort of, you know, so to speak, like trips overseas paid for by whoever, and then now it's like what a lot of the guys that are still surfing are doing, which is super budgeted trips. But Commonthread, the common thing is we get pitted.
You get good waves.
Yeah. So that's, I think, what we're trying to sort of, that's the idea behind it. And it's definitely, like, I don't know, you can't really write a storyline. It's just what happens. And it's just like capturing that. And I don't know, like, people understand it and they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember, I get that, and I get that sort of vibe. Or hopefully other people have never seen it and they'll just be frothing it.
It'll be the true core boog scenario, I reckon.
Yeah.
I wish you fucking best on that.
Yes, brother.
Thanks so much for having me on, man.
I'm going to go warm up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
get a Red Bull in you or something. Yeah, Lester, bruh. I didn't want to have my back to you for too much longer. Thanks so much for coming on, bruh.
No worries.
Appreciate
Good times.
I love the jumper too, sir.
Yep.
Great white tattoo.
Yeah, great white.
How good, eh?
Yeah, good merch.
Fresh too.
Yeah, it is.
Have you ever had any tattoos off him or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sam Kane up there.
Yeah,
Absolute legend.
He's a good dude, eh?
Good dude. Absolute crazy good artist.
Yeah.
Great bodyboarder.
Yep.
So yeah. Yeah, man, I've got tattoos here, and
that's
hopefully a bit of prize money, hopefully get a few more.
That's epic. How good. I know, Ben, speaking about 10K for the Shark Island Challenge this year, I know the prize pool's 20, and we wanted to split it up kind of evenly to make sure second and third and fourth were covered, but 10K, like, it's definitely enough to make a difference, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, and dangling 10K at bodyboarders, they'll do some silly things.
Yeah, man, I know.
That's good.
And so, obviously, like, you know, seeing all the talent around you today, Lester, and you've been in the sport for such a period of time. You've been well over, like, pretty much into 3 decades now, man. Looking at this lineup and who's been assembled, with the current conditions coming up, you know, and you read the charts as well as anyone, kind of 4 to 6 foot we're looking at.
Yep.
Who are you most worried about?
Oh, it's hard to narrow it down to just any particular person.
Yeah.
All the heats are stacked. Like, I've got Jared Houston in my heat, Jerry, so, you know, like...
And you guys spend a lot of time together too.
Yeah, that's right, back in the Turbo days. Great friend, incredible bodyboarder.
I know.
So he's...
And a fresh cut too, I was only saying to
Kezzy.
I know, that's... So fresh.
Sharp, that's real sharp. So he's going to be a definite threat. Anyone can win it. Anyone can win it. Like, the island, you could get a sick one paddling back out, you know?
Yeah.
So the priority could... It could really work in your favour. It could really, like, screw you.
For sure. Have you thought much about that priority system? Because it hasn't been raised too much, but just the point you raised then is quite credible. You've just got a smoker. You're at the back of the bus, so to speak, in priority.
Yeah.
And then you see one coming back over White Rock and Surge. Someone that's possibly deeper than you know they're not going to make the wave, yet they take it anyway because they know they're going to take that score off you. Has that come into your mind?
Yeah, it's come into my mind because... As you know, like, you get a lot of good waves on your way back out.
Yeah.
Depends on, like, that's generally the bigger days, the ones that kind of swing past the main peak, or even some that break wide, where you just you see it, but you can't take off on the peak because it's going to break past you. So.
And you need that chip in on the other side.
Yeah, that's right. So it could really become a huge factor, and especially as it gets lower too. You know, when the waves are breaking a bit more, it could be a factor. But I haven't really thought about like a strategy or anything like that because like it's just. You got to play it as you see it, and if you end up with priority, When a good one comes, you're going to take it. Like, I'm not going to really go too strategic or any kind of like comp thing with it. It's just like, it is what it is.
That's cool, man, because I know, in free surfs in general, I've always felt surfing with you at the island that you have the knack to allow the good waves to come to you.
Yep.
And have you ever felt that, like that you've got that connection with that wave out there, and then if you're sitting there at the right time and you just are almost forecasting it through your mind that you can just get that good wave when you need to?
Yeah, sometimes you're just in sync with the ocean. Like it doesn't happen all the time, and with the island it can get pretty crowded. So sometimes it might be just a luck of just trying to keep busy and getting waves, and just through sheer numbers you get a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are times where you're where you're out there and it's just like you just seem to be able to just be, for whatever reason, just be in rhythm and getting the good one. So yeah, for it to happen, I mean, really, the winner of the competition has to get 6 good waves.
For sure.
So it's doable.
It's a good way to break it down.
Yeah.
And if you think over, say, 6 hours, so to speak, or at least 5.5, it's definitely doable. One good one an hour, pretty much.
Yeah. So you just got to break it down, and you can't really think about it too much. You got to wait. I mean, condition-wise, you got to wait and see what you're dealing with, because there's so many different faces to the wave. If you can psych yourself out.
Yeah, 100%.
So.
And you've seen the wave in all conditions, man. You've surfed for a number of years, and you're regarded as one of the best out there. What's been, and we just discussed this the other day, and I don't want you to narrow it down completely, but is there one session or a certain wave that really stands out for you as one of the best you've ever had out there?
Yeah. After we spoke, like we were out in the surf and we spoke about that, I had a bit of a think, and look, I've got the shittest memory. I've got such a terrible memory, so I don't really remember surfs, but I do remember waves. And there was a particular wave, like in the 2001 Island Comp, in my second heat, where my first round I did really bad, so the second round I was really conscious to try and, obviously to try and make waves, so I didn't hurt myself, but I just got one where I went out a bit wider and went around the buoy, and when I came up, I kind of had to change my line so I didn't get sucked over, and it really just kind of clicked into me how much the wave actually moves around the reef, and that from the position you are when you take off to where you end up, you're almost like you go around like a corner, like you're coming out looking at the buildings on the point.
It's a full horseshoe.
Yeah, so that really, and that was 2001, so that really kind of clicked into my mind of like how the wave moves, but that wave in particular really stands out. Because that was like, there was like gurgles and lips, and it was just the way I was able to kind of go around it and then kind of park back up into it and then come out. That was one. There was an afternoon, actually Kelly Slater came and surfed one afternoon.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, it was a while ago. And he went in, and I stayed out till dark, and I got a couple where, but one in particular where I pulled in at White Rock and surge was already starting to break. And I don't know how it worked, but it kind of, when the shocky hits, like, it kind of splits, and a lot of the time you can go through it, but eventually it kind of all comes up.
For sure.
But for whatever reason, I was on there, I was able to just kind of ride through what seemed like, like a 10 metre kind of sheet of lip coming down, and I was able to get through it. So that really stood out. There's waves here and there, but it's hard to narrow it down to a session.
Dude,
I've got a terrible memory. Like, people go, oh yeah, remember that, Queen's birthday weekend? I'm like,
yeah.
No?
I don't think that was
How do you remember that?
On that weekend.
I know, I was like, no?
Yeah.
I mean, there was that really good Green Water Day. I don't know. I don't know. Is that? I don't know if that's the long weekend one, but that was a Green Water Day. That was really good.
Yeah.
I had some good lefts, actually, some good island lefts, second reef lefts.
Man, you've had lefts like pipe out there.
Yeah.
It's been unbelievable. And not many people know that part of the reef when it does get that lower tide. It's not standing up on that inside shelf.
Yeah.
It's really breaking out the back, and it can be pipe-esque.
Yeah,
it's
that's
crazy.
right. Yeah, and it holds big too. Like, it holds, kind of 10 foot. There was actually I think it was the trials of the Island Comp one year. It was held at the point, and I surfed the island lefts at the back, the second reef, and it was awesome. It was pumping. So yeah, I don't really remember sessions, and to narrow it down to one particular session over almost 30 years now of surfing, it's not, my memory's not going to handle that, but I do. There are waves that have burnt on my brain.
Yeah,
There's a couple of them
forever there.
Yeah.
Dude, removing yourself from the picture and being a spectator, and you've obviously heavily involved in generations that have come and gone at the island. What has been one of the most memorable times for you to be just involved with, or just like out there with the boys, or for a win, or in a comp or something? Because you've got a real solid crew out there, like say the Ben Hall, Ben Williams. You've got Ringer. We've got the Ringer Award this year, because of his antics. Alex Leon. You've got Wazza in the background there, like Rissole, Ballard, core bodyboarders, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever shared a moment out there with them that's just been special and forever imprinted?
Oh, every time you go out there, it's a pretty special moment because there's some guys out there who only really surf the island. So you see them, 4 or 5, 6 times a year, and you share these incredible experiences because you're out in the ocean and it's crazy and you're kind of like escaping death.
Yeah.
It's almost awkward when you see them on the street. You're like, oh, like I don't know how to I don't know how to interact with you out here.
It's a good way to describe it, escaping death.
Yeah. So like I said, you get the sets on the head, so you experience that, and it's all these type of things that you experience together. And like I said, it's across different generations. Like when I was really young, it was like Matt Percy and Nugget and Ballard and Rissole and those guys. And then the surfers as well, like, Terapai and Fletch, like these awesome stand-up surfers who, there was no surf bodyboard hate, there was just like, we're all in this together. And then, my generation of Ben Hall, Ben Williams, Alex Leon, Ringer, Alex Mills.
Yeah, Millsy.
And then the guys below our age group, like you and Sadler and Blackie and, there's a whole group of guys.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, there's, just the experience of the island itself, it's a real proving ground. There's core guys that surf it, and when you're out there and it's pumping, like that's what you live for, and that's what you kind of come in and you're pumped about.
Dude, how lucky are we to be able to have that in our own backyard and not have to travel too far and too abroad to find waves like that?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of pinch myself times and look around and notice that we are just in plain suburbia, man.
Yeah.
Like, you've got people in Lycra up on the Esplanade loving it. People are sipping lattes. You've got dogs walking. You've got people doing crazy Shark Island swims around us, which they're off their heads in some of the swells they swim out. But we're deep, and now the way Cronulla's kind of come, it's become an urban jungle, so to speak.
Yeah.
I look around and think to myself, this is almost paradise in certain ways. Yes, you've got to deal with the crowds, and I get that, and it is a populated area, but to have it in such a bullshit location, you've got to usually travel hours to find waves like that.
Yeah, exactly. And also, all the elements that come together to make it what it is. Like, you got to worry about the tide, you got to worry about the swell direction, the wind, like all these things that, anything that's off throws it out.
Yeah.
So, like, when it all comes together, in that aspect alone, it's a special moment.
For sure.
So then, for us to be able to, be on its doorstep and get to enjoy it and not have to travel and all that. Yeah, it's incredible. It's amazing.
Man.
We're so lucky, and we've got a lot of great reefs around it.
Yeah.
Man, we live in a really special place, and we're really privileged, and it's as you get older, I guess you appreciate it more.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. Because you don't always know how many more times you are going to continue to surf it. You know what I mean? Because it is such a high performance wave.
Yeah, that's right.
But bro, I wish you the best in this 2024 Shark Island Challenge.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming and having a yarn, bro.
No worries.
And, I know you're going to get some special ones out there.
Yeah, I hope so. I'll be praying.
Cheers, Lester.
All right, thanks, Luke. Cheers, mate.
Antonio, my bro, how are you?
Good, man.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Sorry, we're going to whack these up to our mouths. I've been getting told around. I'm always coming back, but it's got to be close.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
dude,
especially with...
Thanks for coming to Australia. Thanks for making the trip out, bro. And
I'm the one grateful, man, for this.
Oh, dude, we're so pumped to have you.
This is the reunion.
Yeah.
I feel like.
It's been 5 years since you've been back here.
I know.
It's amazing.
I know, but it was torture to me. Being this long away from Australia and from you guys.
Dude, it's been torture for me and Lozzie, like my wife, to not be coming back over to Portugal.
You guys are already having the second kid, and
I know, it's psycho,
dude,
man.
a lot going on.
I know, a lot going on. And so you've come back over, man. You've recently been over to Scotland, and I know you've had a pretty crazy winter over in Portugal. You're pretty geared up, and you're pretty bodyboard fit. Like, how are you feeling?
Man, it's been unexpectedly, I don't know, like, amazing. Like, I wasn't at the start of the year when I was making plans, I was like, just depends on money, go with the flow, and I wasn't expecting to make these travels, especially like coming over to Australia. So I was like, okay, the winter finished, some jobs lined up, and I was like, okay, let's go to Scotland, and after that, we'll see. Luckily, I had a job in Scotland, and then while I was there,
you actually tried that in with work.
I did.
Amazing.
So that was the reason I could like stay there for a bit longer, for like a whole month. So fortunately, just stayed for like 3 weeks, did this job there, came back home, did heaps of work, And then, just looking at my bank account, I was like, fuck, let's do it. I can do it. Like,
I've got the dosh.
I've got the dosh, so why not? Like, everything's happening right now in Oz.
You live once.
Exactly. And this is the time, like, just before you have kids and all that important stuff, I was like, okay, it's coming close, so it's now or never. So
sick, man.
Yeah.
Such good dedication coming. And when I saw you this morning at the island, like, I know it was a bit of a windy, cold morning. And when I saw you, I was like, no way this man's back in Australia. Eh?
It's beautiful, right?
It's so good. So how long are you here for?
2 months.
Oh my goodness. You've gone the long haul.
I know. I got some work to do, but it's all like remote stuff, so I can surf, jump on the computer, and then just
beautiful.
All sweet.
Well, and I know you'll be over here doing a fair bit with Adrian, man. You've got the Commonthread. You know, you're a major part of it. You guys have done a lot in Portugal. Now you've obviously been over to the Indo-Pacific doing some work, filming, and now you're going to do stuff in Australia. Like, what have you guys got planned for the up-and-coming project?
Yeah, that was also one of the reasons I wanted to come over, because we got some ideas.
Yeah.
Obviously, with surfing, you can't fully plan it. All depends on swells and stuff. But basically, we're just ready for like missioning around and. Yeah.
Sick.
Hopefully there's some swell, some juice coming, and
I think there will be. Yeah, I think you're at the right time, man.
It feels like it's been a special start of the season for you guys. So.
For sure. We're finally getting a bit of juice. Last few years have been a bit lackluster. Yeah. We definitely haven't had the back-to-back swells, and there hasn't been a full-on amazing swell of it. There have been some good days, but there's been consistency, and there's been waves of time. I don't think I have bodyboarded this much in a very long time.
So sick, bro.
Yeah,
heaps of rain, but rain is good here, so
100%.
It brings storms and
that's what it is.
Swell.
If you're getting your dry kind of cold sou'westers that are ripping up over the mountains, keeping things colder, but getting generally like very acute southerly swells going up the coast, you're not going to get that juice in the ocean. When you've got that warm moisture feeding down from the Indo-Pacific, as we were talking before, you can really see that once a high moves off Australia, and this is again, shout out to Craig Brockinger from Swellnet, he's been giving me a real good rundown on it. You can just see lows starting to form off that east coast a lot more consistently.
So do you think we're going to have a good island comp?
Oh, I'm really hoping. Like the last couple of swells have slipped by us and they've been downgraded, but we've kind of been informed that this last one, this is why we had the kind of 10-day period. There was 3 storms in there, and we knew we had 3 to pick from. The first 2 were, they were there, then they fell off the charts, and we obviously had to push past them, but this last one's looking amazing.
Sick.
Fingers crossed it kind of gets upgraded and continues to go from there. But you know what I mean? Like, we've got like small little logistical things to always consider in regards to staffing, considering our production team and when they're booked. So you obviously want to run on the best days, but you want to keep that stuff in mind. So it's a bit of a juggling act, but I really feel this coming weekend.
It will pay off for sure, man.
It will, man.
It will pay off.
100%.
Like, after all you guys, all the hard work you guys been doing for the sport, I really believe it's going to be like an epic event, and it's for the books.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. Well, dude, speaking about epic events, we just had an amazing expression session at URBNSURF.
Man, I feel like a kid.
Yeah, do ya?
Like a grommy.
Yeah, epic. So this is the newest wave pool here in Sydney. Looking around our facilities currently, like they've really gone ham out here and made it quite smick. They've got all the trimmings. You've got hot pools. You've got rip curl stores. You've got changing rooms, hot showers. You've got physios.
Man, I wish I could have a membership here, bro.
Dude, it's crazy, isn't it? I know. I'm even looking into one. I'll be driving to Cronulla for this, for sure.
Dude, I was showering now and I was like dreaming to myself, thinking like, I hope in the near future, there's going to be as much wave pools as gyms. So it's fully like a membership. Because you got like hot shower, you got a heated pool, you got everything, man.
Just scan in,
just
happy
like scan in.
Yeah.
Happy days.
I know. So were you surfing the left or the right, man?
Mostly the right.
Yep.
And then I jumped a little bit late on the left, only managed to get one wave, but I don't care, man. It was heaps fun.
Sick. Yeah. And did you notice any differences? Because sometimes people say the left and the right has slight differences.
I think I couldn't really tell because I only got one on the left.
Yeah.
And I felt like every set wave is a bit different. Like, for example, the first...
Thank you.
Like, for example, the first one of the set usually doesn't have as much punch.
Yeah.
Same as the last one. Goes to the last one. It's more like the ones in the middle that have like extra power. But I'm sure if you get like they're pretty similar, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think they are the same concrete floors.
Yeah. Maybe my surfing is just not the same. And
I
left
don't
or
know
right,
about
so I
that,
just feel
man. I don't know about that. I've seen both ways of you.
Yeah, but
you
feel there's always a difference.
There is when you go for, say, like a reverse on a left and then you do a forward on a right, they're essentially the same moves and you feel comfortable. But then when you switch them around on both the left and the right, say from a forward aspect to a reverse, you kind of you can just feel the slight differences sometimes. It's so bizarre.
But this is what the wave pools are for.
It is.
To practice these things, like to polish all your technical aspects, and this is what takes surfing to the future, I think.
It does, doesn't it? Because this is the place where you can hone those technical skills without consequence.
Exactly.
You don't need to worry about crowds. You don't need to worry about conditions changing all the time. You're going to get your waves every time. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you had a crazy storm come through, you're going to get onshore conditions, but you're going to get the same waves. You're going to turn up at a time, get your session in.
And everybody's having a good time, no priorities, no snaking. Like, everyone there for the same reason. So
for sure.
It's a different thing. Like, I know, like, it's always better to get a wave in the ocean, but it's still like, it's an experience. It's unique and
100%.
It's worth it. 100%.
I really think it's got its place because, there'll be some core lords out there that talk about having only time in the ocean, that's the only place to get waves and whatever. But if you can hone, as we're talking about before, the technical skill aspect and just understanding your body mechanics and where you're putting, everything into place, you can then take it to the ocean. You can start reading the ocean, understand the swells, understand the variations in beach breaks and reef breaks and the different prevailing winds and conditions, and then you become the complete package.
Exactly.
So to speak.
I was actually thinking, like, is the wind going to be good here? Because sometimes it might even affect. And then I saw the drone was actually helping, like blowing offshore into the wave.
No way.
I think so. I'm not sure, but it's so powerful, the drone, that definitely feel like the wind.
Dude, Peto's drone is crazy. How are the blades on that?
Yeah, dude, so I reckon it has an effect on it.
Well, I reckon out here at Olympic Park, they chose this position, one, because it's an amazing precinct out here, and obviously it has a lot of different cafes, shops, pubs, clubs, sporting events, entertainment areas, but also it's deep in the Sydney Basin. So you get way less coastal wind. They have a man-made hill over there on the right side, so when the prevailing nor'easter comes in, suppose we should block something on the side there and allow it to funnel more to an offshore position, and in a southerly storm, this is offshore.
Dude.
They've thought of everything.
Oh my, you just need budget.
Yeah, I know.
You just need budget for
You just need budget, eh?
Because otherwise I would be spending every day in summer around here as well.
It's unbelievable to think that, like, the amount of money they've put into this, and this being the 10th version of it, you know what I mean? And just expanding the pool from there. It's really cool to see.
Bro, it's sick. It's sick. I'm still shaking, like, from all the excitement, and everybody was just like screaming and having fun out there, and it's sick to see, like, people running it in different ways as well. You see heaps of creative stuff.
100%. Like, just adrenaline, eh?
Yeah, sick like wall rides and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw Ben, I don't know, Sawyer. Yeah, he was like, like putting his helmet on the wall, scraping his helmet on the wall.
Oh, he would,
what? That was sick.
Just getting some more, like, core marks on there.
Yeah. I should be polishing my bald hair as well.
Turn it up. How'd you go at arm this morning? You got a quick session out there?
I didn't because I had a cold yesterday, so I was like, I want to make sure, like, I would be healthy for this evening. So,
yeah.
I rather.
I thought you guys were suiting up. Was it Steph that was suiting up?
Steph jumped for an hour.
Sweet. Yeah, cool. How'd he go? Have some fun?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. He jumped for an hour, like a little bit slower, but but it was good to, like, already feel the wave a bit and
100%.
Yeah.
Dip the toes in, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but I'm not worried. There's plenty of swell coming, so
a lot
100%. More opportunity to surf with you guys.
Got a lot of time, bro.
Yeah.
Especially 2 months. That's psycho.
It's sick, bro.
Yeah. Well, dude, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up.
All right.
Man, thank you so much.
Such
for
a
coming
pleasure,
on.
bro.
Appreciate it.
Legend.
And to everyone out there, really appreciate watching the expression session here at the Shark Island Challenge Urban Surf Night Out. Huge thank to Hub Bodyboards. Oh, what? No, we got Jared. Oh, hang on a second. So sorry, everyone. I didn't know I had the 2-time world champion behind me at the moment. So sorry to just cut you off like that, bro. How are you?
Good, bro. You must be pretty wrecked, man. You've been jaw-jacking all night so far.
Yeah, look, I definitely am known in my family as the dribbler, the shit talker. So it does get, I do work it out on a regular basis, but I was only looking at the direct agent before, and I thought the 2 minutes was a wrap-up. I wouldn't dare want to cut you off, bro.
So
Especially
now you just got extended, bro.
I'm happy to be here for another hour if you want to talk.
We'll keep it short.
Oi, you've come all the way from Puerto Rico, man. I just want to thank you.
Yeah.
It's crazy. When was the last time you were in Oz?
2017.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, so it's been a while between drinks.
Yeah.
Feels good to be back. A lot of special time spent here in Oz with you guys and around Canada, and so yeah, it's cool to be back. Cool to surf out here. It was insane.
Yeah, what was the pool like?
Crazy experience, man. What a trip.
Yeah.
Such a trip being out there. It's like all blue. Water's freezing. Then first wave, just crazy. Paddling in and seeing it drain out and just run away. It was wild.
Aqua, eh?
Yeah. It was super cool experience. I've never surfed in a pool before, so I'm stoked.
Sick.
To get the opportunity.
Yeah, for sure, man. I've had my first surf down in Melbourne only, I think it was 2 years ago. I've been back 3 times. Haven't surfed this yet, but I was hooked on the first go.
Yeah.
There's something about a chlorine-filled tube that just makes everything so much different than something in the ocean. Because
totally. Well, you're surrounded by walls.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah. And the light shining down on it, and the way the bottom's so smoothed out. There's really no imperfections.
The wave's actually a lot better than what I thought it would be.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. I kind of had pretty low expectations, and I was pretty blown away.
Sick, man. That's exactly how I felt. Because when you look at the footage, I don't think it does it justice as much. And then when you're out there, I would imagine coming to that meaty section there. Were you on the left for a bit?
Yeah, I surfed the right, started on the right, and then I went over the left.
Yeah.
And they were both pretty sick. Pretty identical.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway. That's sick. Yeah. It's good to hear, because I think that's what they were going for. I know down in Melbourne, they're looking at the left and the right, and they think there's some slight differences there.
Yeah.
So it's good to see they're getting the special sauce recipe just right.
Nailed it.
Dude,
nailed it, bro.
Tell us about your bodyboarding camps over in Puerto Rico. You do a lot of them yearly, and there's amazing feedback.
Yeah, I got to do the bodyboarding camps. They, super fun, man. Met so many rad people through it.
Yeah.
It's kind of they started off being, sort of pretty serious. I was real rigid with the way I ran them, and then we kind of get an 85-90% return rate. And so all the people that come back every year. And now it's super cool because it's this really relaxed atmosphere where I get to hang out with the same people year after year.
Wow.
And it ends up just being like a surf fest.
That's epic.
When I got a camp on, I get to surf all day with a bunch of friends and help them get better and give them a cool experience. So, yeah, I love it.
Oh, man, they must be so stoked, especially getting taken to some of the waves around there. From what I've seen on your gram, man, there's some serious waves in Puerto Rico.
There's some serious waves. Yeah, we're definitely not taking people to waves that are 2 knots.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of spots that it's not really smiled upon to bring a crew.
I understand.
But there's a couple of places that are still really good that get the guys out at.
Sick.
And a lot of them end up catching some of the best waves of their lives on the trips.
In some of the warmest water going around.
Yeah, it's 27 minimum.
Hectic.
Yeah, that's a cold day.
27
no way. Degrees, yeah.
So you've gone from 27 down to 14.
Yeah, it's been a trip. Today was a pretty big culture shock.
Yeah. 4.3?
I've got a 4.3. I thought it was a 3.2. I'm actually kind of bummed. It's pretty, all the waves are so good these days, but I really wanted to have a 3.2. But I got a 4.3, and it's nice to be toasty.
Yeah, definitely. I've actually been opting for a 4.3 more in my later years, just because sitting out at colder locations, I'm I'm done with being cold or trying to
No, it just sucks.
Yeah, don't you reckon?
Too old for that now.
Yeah, I want comfort. I need something in my life with a bit of comfort.
Exactly.
So with the Island Challenge coming up, Jared, you've surfed it a lot, man. Desi has always spoken in huge high regard of yourself and Jacob out there.
Yeah.
What are you expecting this year, and have you looked at the forecast coming up?
I'm just psyched.
Yeah.
Just really, just super keen to get out there and have a crack, Surf with the format, 40 minutes, 40-minute heat?
Yeah.
40-minute first heat?
Yeah.
40 minutes out of the island with 5 other guys, I reckon that's just a dream,
Yeah.
It's always pretty crowded. You don't really necessarily get the pick of the best waves you want as a blow-in, so it's going to be rad to have that opportunity, even though I've got Lester in my heat, so he'll probably be sniffing out the really good ones, but I'll be on him.
Yeah. He was only actually speaking about you beforehand and mentioned how much you guys would travel together, and obviously it'll be a pretty tough heat.
Totally, bro. Like, I got a lot of history with Lester, and it's going to be cool to battle out with him. And yeah, I've got won a couple of comps in pretty good ways, but the island would definitely be, that'd be a pretty cool moment to try and come out on top here.
Oh man, 100%.
Yeah.
And being a 2-time world champion, bro, you've got it in you, eh?
Yeah, I think I can give it a go. I'm here because I wanna win.
Of course, you wouldn't come otherwise.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a red hot crack, and hopefully the waves are sick and the vibes are good.
Yeah.
Hopefully a couple of bowls, a couple of big pits.
Yeah.
I'm psyched.
Well, it's amazing too when you think about it, man. You're almost a fully qualified Sparky.
Yeah.
You have a family of 2 at home, man. You're running these camps, and to come all the way around the world and to still put it all on the line to win the Island Challenge, it's mad respect, bro.
Yeah, I'm lucky to have the support of Hub Boards. They really they give me such rad backing. When I signed on with them in 2018, it was kind of, they were like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, I want to boogie. And they're like, cool, well, we'll provide you the platform to do that, and you do it on your terms. And first few years of the World Tour, I won the title that year, did the tour again, and then the last year has just been kind of traveling and staying at home, getting clips, and so I get to do these kind of things because they stepping up, supporting me still, and super psyched. Thanks to them.
So good.
And thanks to you guys for the invite.
Dude, and thank you.
It's an honor.
Oh, man, you're always on our list. And thank you to Hub Boards for actually sponsoring the event too. Thinking about yourself, and also this event wouldn't have gone ahead without them.
Totally.
Jeff was so generous.
So it's rad to see some key brands stepping up and supporting the sport that we all love so much. And so, big up to Hub Boards and to the other sponsors as well.
Yeah, 100%. HB, Bodyboard Kingdom, and obviously Innovative Homelands. I can't believe, especially with a comp that hasn't ran in 6 years, quite hard to kind of gather up the financial backing to get it off the ground, especially with a largest budget, quite substantial budget really to get an international event off the ground.
For sure.
To them come on board has been it's been a godsend, really.
Well, people want to see it. Hats off to the World Tour guys and what they're doing, and giving it a crack and keeping something going. But kind of feel like bodyboarding's come to a place where it sort of needs something sick to happen. And it looks like a great production quality you guys got going on. And if the waves come to the party and everyone's ripping and going for it, which I'm sure they're going to be.
For sure.
It should be quite a spectacle.
Yeah, it should be, man. We're trying to get this festival going each year too. If we can incorporate the wave pool. Urban have been so kind to have us here after hours. Definitely.
What a bunch of legends.
Oh, don't you reckon? Yeah, so sick. To have the whole pool to yourself, I reckon.
Oh, man,
it
was a dream. I was super grateful. I think everyone's super grateful.
Yeah, they really are. And thinking about wave pools, man, this has been your first one. Speaking to Antonio just beforehand, do you see it holding a place in the sport moving forward? And could you see people progressing further in the sport, utilising this technology?
Yeah, I think the possibilities seem to be pretty endless. I mean, there's some really great technologies out there. This one's super fun, beautiful, really cylindrical, and just a really great wave riding experience. And I definitely think that it holds a place in the sport in terms of progression, especially, I guess, for the younger kind of crowd that gets to practice on the same canvas over and over again. You just don't get that. We never had that. You would practice a move that you would get the section for once every 6 or 7 waves. Practicing barrels is something that you have to either surf a very specific wave or get super lucky at a beach break. Whereas out here, you could just come out here and get really good at riding barrels over and over again, really figuring them out. And I definitely think that if you were to learn to ride a barrel here, it would translate to the ocean in some way.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely holds a place. And I think the sky's the limit in terms of what they could come up with.
For sure, yeah. What was your favourite move out there this afternoon?
My favourite move?
Yeah, this evening. Was it a flip?
I think just kind of getting technical in around the pocket was the most fun I had.
Yeah, sick.
I did a couple backflips and stuff, and I went stoogie on the
Oh,
left.
no way.
And that was super fun, kind of challenging. It's really flat bottom.
Yeah.
Hard to keep the nose up, but it was a blast, man.
That's sick. Yeah, really good deal. Jared, man, thank you for coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Appreciate it. And I'm stoked to have you in Oz, man.
Yeah, man, I'm stoked to be back, bro.
Can't wait to see what you're doing in the challenge. Yeah.
Psych, bro.
Thank you for everyone
Catch you
out
boys
there
later.
in the Instagram world.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you guys tuning in tonight for the expression session. From here at Urban Surf. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier in the night. Really glad that you kept on watching this session, and I hope all the riders put on a spectacle for you, because I couldn't stop peering over my left shoulder, and I'm sure Coops has got a kink neck from looking on. Also, a huge shout out to Bodyboard Kingdom, Hub Boards, Innovative Home Loans and Handpicked Bodyboards for getting this going, and also Adrian Edmonton, the Commonthread film and his production team behind the scenes, the athletes, Mark Sadler, Presidente, Sam Venn, Secretary, and myself, Treasurer of the Shark Island Challenge. We would all like to thank you so much for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you hopefully next weekend, fingers and toes crossed, for the up-and-coming 2004 Shark Island Challenge. 2024. Thank you so much. Have a great night.